this webinar, and we can just start by that. So today I will going to present and also demonstrate the Powerproject product, which is a project management software, and also it can capable of many things in our projects. So you can see our agenda right now. Briefly, I will talk about my company, then I will go introduce what is BIM, first of all, and then we will continue with Powerproject, and also we will have a demonstration about the features of Powerproject. As a prime PMO project management and consulting company, we do provide PMO services, project management services, consulting and implementation services, and also we have software-based or project-based trainings. So some of the services we do provide is 4D and 5D BIM planning. We have BIM management. We provide linear planning, lifecycle facility, data management, and many more here you can see. And also we do provide the market's best solutions to our customers. So within this scope, we have project portfolio management. For the project portfolio management, we have Powerproject, and also we have Oracle's Primavera products. And also we use for the 4D BIM planning, Powerproject. So for the 5D BIM cost estimation, we have Bitcoin here. So don't get hesitate about what is BIM. We will right after this slide we will go into that. And also for the 60 and 70 BIM we have Ecodomus here. The Deltek product Ecoman is actually for schedule analysis, and also it provides us to generate a wide scope of risk management. And also we have Schedule Reader here. So what is BIM? What is BIM exactly? BIM, Building Information Modeling, stands for BIM. So by definition, actually, it is not a software. I want to say that firstly, and it is a integrated management approach. So which aims us to prevent all the problems of a life cycle of a project we can face. We try to eliminate and mitigate these problems within a digital format. And you see here the BIM cycles here. So we can, of course, all the construction project starts with the planning and the design phase. So in the design phase, we can face, for instance, change orders, which can be more costly, and it can result in time delays. So in order to prevent that, we can have a BIM design to make sure the clients and the designers are making sure that what they are going to get at the end of the project. And also we can have, so the key point here is to increase the productivity with using the BIM approach, BIM system, or we can say. So in order to do that, we need to have an input, the same information data. You see here an example of a construction structure to generate more outputs. So we can use this model for the design purposes and also for the analysis. So for instance, the structure analysis, we can also do structure analysis with using the existing BIM model. We do not have to create a separate structural model. And also for the documentation, the BIM model is not actually a 3D model. It is a smart model, which is an information inputted there. So we can manage our documents in a digital format. So because at the beginning we will have all the informations inputted in the model. Also, we can use these for the fabrication phase. And also we will talk about this webinar 4D and 5D BIM planning. We can affect our schedules with using BIM and generate accurate schedules, accurate construction strategies, and eliminate all the mistakes that we can have or we can misread. And also we can have construction logistics simulations to eliminate, for instance, as you know, everyone in the construction site can face a limited site conditions. So they can face, for example, the delivery of a tower crane into the construction site. So we can have all the simulations and prevent the possible problems here. For the operation and maintenance part and also the revenation part, we can use the manufacturers, all the units informations like serial numbers, what is the product type it's going to be, is it a mechanical unit, what is the properties of it. We can have all this information and use for our operation and maintenance plans, and also we can generate energy analysis to optimize the energy consumption of projects with the renovation, or we can also at the beginning of any project we can determine all these manners, and also we can have programming here. So you see here the beam dimensions which are defined by 3D to 7D. So 3D it is started because all the design phase just before the BIM is created with the AutoCAD 2D drawings. So in the BIM phase approach, we can generate directly 3D models, 3D design phases. So we cannot, we do not have to create first the 2D drawings, but we can create 2D drawings using the 3D model, which will going to increase productivity, and we can easily save time and also our costs, which are really critical in our projects. For the 4D BIM part, we can use our planning and scheduling phases with using BIM, so we can eliminate all the planning mistakes, because the planners always are dealing with the enormous number of activities, up to 2,000 to 3,000 activities. So with the 4D view, we can eliminate all the mistakes, all the construction strategy mistakes that we can misread from the bar charts. And with adding the cost information our model, we can have a 5D BIM, so we can have a direct accurate cost estimation with using this technology. So for the 6D and the 7D, we can have, as I said before, for the 6D, we can have energy analysis. So widely used standard is LEED for the high-rise buildings. We can optimize our energy consumption, and we can actually decrease up to 50% our life cycle energy consumptions with using smart HVACs, energy efficient lighting systems, and etc. And we can analyze these things in a digital format. Also for the operation and maintenance, we need to have as-built plans, because we'll then continue manage our facility, and we need to know where our mechanical, electrical units are, what are their properties, what are actually they are, even on the project. So in order to do that, we need to have as-built plans to perform a really effective operation and maintenance approach. Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of 4D BIM. You see here the simulation, and we can, by using this simulation and the 4D BIM methodology, we can produce more realistic, more rigorous schedules. We can directly eliminate all the planning mistakes, as we can see all the construction phase in our simulation. And by analyzing the schedule, we can directly optimize our construction strategy, and we can make sure that every trade is aware of what we are going to construct, what we are going to get in our such complex projects, because day by day the projects are getting complexer. So by identification of problems, we can have optimization, as I said before. Also, we can automate the schedule production with using the 3D BIM design model and allocating this to our schedules. Another advantage is the assessment of durations, because as I said, the BIM model is actually have information. So what kind of informations are the location informations of any product, the quantity informations, the material informations, and we can use these informations in our schedule to estimate the activity durations, and we can have more realistic construction deadlines. Of course, we can have more effective explanation of the schedule, because understanding the project by only looking the Gantt chart is very complex. It can be very complex, but in the 4D view, you can see here, it is widely explanative approach, you can see also. And we can also close the communication gap between all the trades. So let's talk about what is Powerproject. Powerproject is not a new software. It's been marketed over the 30 years. So Elocosoft is an UK-based company which are developed this Powerproject, and also it was awarded Best Project Management and Planning Product over the 6 years. The last 6 years, this is a really good achievement, I believe. And also, Powerproject is widely used in UK and also the Europe region. And we will, once you get the Powerproject, you can have 10 different language options. You can see some of the projects that Powerproject is being used before. As I said before, the Powerproject is widely used in the UK and the Europe side, but you can understand from here that in many type of projects, Powerproject actually serves best solutions. It can be a special building, it can special structure, it can be a space shuttle, it can be an airport project. So Powerproject has no limitations here. And also you can see some of the customers that are using and used before Powerproject. So these are, of course, not the all customers. The widely known construction contractors and consulting firms are using Powerproject. So what is Powerproject? Powerproject is a cost scheduling tool. As I said, it's been in the market over 30 years, and the BIM module, you can see here working with the 3D BIM model, is just integrated with the last 5 years. So just before then, it's always become a very powerful scheduling tool, so that my Primavera P6 or Microsoft Project, what they are capable of, Powerproject is also capable of doing that. And also, it is not, of course, only a scheduling tool. Powerproject allows you to generate earned value analysis, S-curves. We can perform risk management also, and also the line of balance linear scheduling methodology into the Powerproject. Powerproject allows you to integrate your BI reports to the system. The main advantage of Powerproject is we can have direct integration, and we can update the BI reports. You can see here by just one click, or it can take 5 minutes to update that. So if you, some of you may generate BI reports, so the traditional way is copying all the data and updating data from Excel sheets, which are really time consuming. With Powerproject, it eliminates all of the phase, all of the cycle. And Powerproject has a site progress mobile, which site engineers, site managers can directly update, or it can be your subcontractors. They can update their schedules, their activities based on durations, based on quantity data. They can take notes, they can take pictures and directly update the schedule. You do not have to update manually on the software, computer-based software. We can directly take data from the mobile application. And if you're sending, of course, Powerproject has many reporting options. But if you're sending your local file, the Powerproject doesn't have to, the other trades doesn't have to have a Powerproject license. It has a free project viewer, so they can see and view your project data, even your model here. And lastly, the Powerproject has a 4D BIM part. Basically 4D BIM is combination of the project schedule and the 3D BIM model. So we will also demonstrate this after the presentation. Production of 4D BIM is, we need two things. We need first our schedule. So we can get our schedules from Primavera P6 or Microsoft Project. It can directly be imported in Powerproject. Also, we can get 3D BIM models from other design softwares. So Powerproject is not a design software here. But the only thing we should consider is that 3D model should be in IFC file format, which is an international data transfer standard. You can have 3D models with IFC file format. And by combination of all these, we can generate 4D BIM planning. But if we don't have any project schedule, of course, Powerproject allows you to create our own schedules in our software. So you can see here a residential building. What we see here is our spreadsheet. We have Gantt chart, also we have 3D models. And also another example building, which is a commercial building. So you can directly see all the link logics, the activities, and our model. It can be a road bridge structure or even an industrial plant. So Powerproject doesn't have any limitations for dealing our complex projects. Once we go much detail about Powerproject, we see here portfolio management. We can have on the Gantt charts and also for the spreadsheet, our multiple projects we can control. And we can have many data like finish variances, finish dates, finish status, or we can add cost values, any other resource values. The spreadsheet also works like an Excel sheet. Powerproject also allows you to allocate our resource to our program, and we can determine how many hours or how many days our resources are going to work in an activity. And by using the supportive diagrams here, we can also analyze our resources, our resource availabilities. If there is any over allocation here, we can directly determine. And also these graphs are working dynamically. Any change in the activity directly affects our diagrams. So the most important different thing in Powerproject is we can categorize our cost and also even our incomes. You can see also revenues here. We do not have to input our revenues as minus expenses. We can input as positive values. And by following the histograms, we can track our project costs, we can track our income and also the net cost values, net project values, net cash flows. And also you see that these blue vertical lines shows us at the end of every month, what are going to be our values. Earned value analysis, Powerproject can also do for you. It can be based on duration, it can be based on costs, resources, or overall percentage completed weightings. So Powerproject allows you to generate S-curves to analyze the project also with the S-curves. And we can perform risk analysis, we can have duration likelihoods, we can have cost likelihoods, margin likelihoods, and also we can see our critical activities. And you can see our results here. We can generate multiple quantitative analysis in Powerproject also. And about the reports generation, Powerproject allows us to generate multiple rich type of reports, because all the views can be customizable. We can add histograms, we can add our 3D model. Let's suppose that we are reporting a progress report, so we can also have our actual status of our project in a view as a report, and also we can directly export all these things in an Excel format. So let's talk about the business intelligence reporting. You see an example here. And we can have these reports are widely used for program management. You can have multiple projects here, and you can have all these data which can be added. So this can be project types and status, or resource and cost data, of course. We can also have overall percentage and planned percentage comparison here. We can add a map view where the projects are located, and we can also add any other widgets, any other information in this report. Powerproject works directly integrated with any other systems because it's an open API-based system. So actually, Powerproject has direct integration with Primavera P6, Microsoft Project, or any other formats. But also you can create and integrate for example, your SAP modules with Powerproject by writing macros, because it's an open API-based system. And if you have questions, just please send us about the presentation, and then we can move our demonstration. So let's see what's in Powerproject. We can see 4 main side of a Powerproject. The left side is a project view. We can navigate our project structure, project view, activities, and also the BIM model using the project view. Let's go open our program, and you can see our WBSs here. So once I click our substructure, superstructure works, the activities are directly filtered out. And once I want to see all these things in our model, I can directly go to the BIM and say show view. Okay. So if I want to go back to my model, I can right click to show all items. And let's start our simulation. So you can see in a red line going day by day, and you can see the activities on the Gantt chart, and also you can see all the activities, how it are going to be constructed in our 4D simulation. This feature is actually really advantage for dealing very large projects, because as I said, we have enormous number of activities, so we can directly determine the construction strategy, and we can make sure that our project is accurate from day 1 to the last day of a project. We can stop our simulation, timeline simulation. If I want to go to a specific date, let's see what is going to be starts of project at the end of November, let's say. Once I click, you see that the project is going to be like this. And also we can directly continue from this date to the end date of a project. So by linking these activities with you see here the components of the model, we can directly create our 4D BIM schedule. And once we finish our simulation, I will just continue showing that. So day by day, we can go. And also I want to say that we use a fly past here. You can you can arrange your camera views in order to put your videos. You can create videos and put your presentations. You can take pictures, you can save images, snapshots, all these things in Powerproject, doesn't have to be mentioned. And let's move to our another project. So I want to show how to create a schedule with a 3D BIM model. If we have a ready schedule, we can go to the file and we can go to the import export. So you see here that Primavera, or from the Microsoft project, we can import our projects, or even an Excel. As I said, this spreadsheet works as an Excel. So by copying and pasting, we can add our activities to our spreadsheet. But let's assume that we do not have any activity. So I want to use this 3D BIM model in order to create a schedule. So where we import the 3D BIM model is actually, we can go to the file, select BIM, and you see here two different models also can be inputted in a group IFC model. It's a structural model once, and we have a different model, architectural model, so we can all combine these in Powerproject. Once I go back to the view, you see here all the data. Let's open our we can go to the BIM, and let's open our properties pane. So in order to make sure that all the data is coming accurately from our design software. So once I click this structural column, for instance, we can see it is a limestone column. We have, I believe, dimensions here. We can have also calculated area and volume values, which we will use more efficiently. And we will have location values, which are really necessary for 4D BIM planning. Okay, so in order to create a first activity, we need to first start by creating our piles. So if you can also see that we do not have any related component based on excavation, but we can also create an excavation activity and then allocate the piles in another activity as piles, so we can have more realistic schedule. So let's create an excavation activity by drawing in Gantt chart. I can create an activity and I can type their name. So you can see that I can also adjust its duration here. So let's say 50 days excavation activity is going to be, and then we will start putting our piles here. So in order to select multiple elements in the view, we need to open our selection mode. Once the selection mode is open, I can select a pile and directly drag and drop to our Gantt chart. So you see here an activity which is already allocated with the model is created. So we can say this is my pile activity. And you see here many piles in our project, which are going to be the really problem in our complex projects. So we can also, by drag and drop, create our activities, or we can do another thing. Is you see here in the project view is IFC products. We have searches command here. So let's right click and create a new search. So I want to make sure that Powerproject saves all my footings as a search, okay? So, and in order to do that, we need to open our properties and let's select the footing. So we see here IFC entity is IFC footing. We can use this. We can also use the names. We can also use location values. So level 1, IFC footing, the two criteria I will input in my search. So let's go to our search and say this is piles. And we have search criteria here. And let's click add. We can use name, but I want to use IFC entity, or we can use any other property type. And we can have equals or doesn't contain. We can filter out any kind of condition here. And also select our IFC footing. So you see in the products, all the IFC footings are selected, and you see here all the locations in the same level. So let's select all the items in 3D model. So you see here, I've selected all the footing here. And right now, I just want to right click. I do not have to right click. Let's select all these things, and the selection mode is open. And then after that, we can drag and drop and directly create our footing activity. Okay, so and then adjust a duration. It can be, let's say, 3 weeks. Okay, so 3 weeks footing activities are created, and you're also seeing the piles, and also the footings are all selected because into my criteria, according to my criteria, they're all selected. But we can add any other criteria to differentiate these footings and the piles. We can also have 2 different activities, but we do not want to lose many time. So let's see our footing activity here. I can go show view. All the allocated activities are on the view, and we need to create a relationship with the activities, of course. We can either use our spreadsheet, we can add column in the logic, we can have successor predecessor values, or we can have directly drag and drop. You can see I can draw a finish to start line relationship with these 2 activities. And the last thing I need to do is rescheduling my project in order to create a critic path. So you see right now start and the finish dates, and also the duration of the 2 activities and the footing activities here. So let's start our simulation, but in order to wait, in order to prevent this waiting, because we do not have any excavation on the view, let's delete for right now and let's start. So right now you see day by day. We can also adjust our simulation settings. We can go and say time interval is 1, not the elapsed days, but elapsed weeks. So every scene is going to present a 1 week. And one by one, you see here our piles and the footings are coming on the view. And you're also seeing before the piles, you see here, our footings are coming on the view. So that is why we can adjust a building order. So let's say in the simulation, when it is started, I will just create these piles and then this footing. So Powerproject also recorded this number of selections, and I just go to the right click and select set product build orders, sequential to 1. So the first footing pile and the footing I will be constructing is going to be this one. So let's start this, and you see here, this is going to be first created, and then the others will follow. And by assigning this build order, we can also have a really realistic construction simulation on Powerproject. So let's close this model pane right now, and we have a footing activity. So this footing activity that I said, I will finish this activity in 3 weeks. We can also have table definition a day format. So this is going to be 15 days in our working days. And also we can add a number of columns which we can use in our project. So these are the quantities, product rates, product meter square or meter cube, we can also select. And you see here all the allocated IFC quantities that are comes from the 3D models. So you see here, I want to use the volume. So you see footing, in the footing activity, we have approximately 1.4 thousand meter cube quantity. So I want to use this value. That is why I'm copying it and pasting it to the quantity column. So let's say paste values. Okay, so we right now directly know what is the quantity of our footing activity, and we can select, this is also meter cube it's going to be, because we took volume data, and then we can say production rate is day. So if I know in a day how many meter cubes that I can pour or I can construct in our construction schedule, we can determine this duration in a really realistic way. So let's say this is our 15-day activity. Let's say I am capable of doing 40 meter cubes per day, this activity. So let's see that the duration is doubled, or it is more than doubled. So you see that my estimation was wrong, and right now I'm just eliminated this wrong estimation by adding production rates to my activity. So let's suppose that it can be any activity. It can be a contractual obligation that we need to finish this activity in 25 days, let's say. You see here, I am capable of doing 40 meters per cube day, but when I input 25 days, I need not 125, but 25 days. You see here, on the construction site, I need to do 55 meter cube per day in order to finish this activity. So directly we used 3D, the data come from the 3D model and affected our construction schedule just by that. So by this way, we can reach out our activities, we can allocate all the, we can link all the components. Also, we can have resources, all the cost data, and reach out our construction schedule. So by dragging and dropping finish to start, start to start, finish to finish, we can directly create our schedules. And we can, once we reschedule, you see our relationship is all here. And once we put all these things, we can create and form very strict schedules. Okay, so this is one thing, one part of Powerproject with using BIM model. The another thing is project control. So let's assume that we have a ready schedule. We also allocated all the elements in the 3D model with the activities. So you see here, I have activities here, and also you see the baseline of the activities. Once I unclick the baseline in the format tab, you see the baseline coming out of the view. And once we open, we can see our baseline of our project. In the baselines, we can add unlimited number of baselines in our project. And also we see here in the traditional manner, we can see the delay of the project. This column should be start and finished here, but we are not right now here. So we can directly see the effect in our Gantt chart, but we can also see this effect in our comparison simulations. We have right now two model panes. The above one is the IFC model pane, which is, we can go to the timeline settings, which uses the live project dates, and the comparison model uses baseline dates and highlighting live project differences. So once I start our simulation, Powerproject is going to highlight me our project differences according to our baseline. So let's stop here and just zoom in a little bit to our bridge construction. So right now you see here the highlighted red ones are delayed according to our baseline schedule. So you see here, I have many number of activities, but I want to know which activity is this. So I just want to click, and you see here the 37th activity, Edge Beam number 6, is delayed at the duration of 14th of November at the date where I am constructing. And also we can have direct effect of the view. So let's just first stop adjust our view, and we can go back a little bit. So right now you can see how the effect of our delays in our project. So these arc couldn't be started at the date where I am right now at live, but we need to be constructing these arches in order to follow our baseline schedule. So we can have direct distinguishing between this baseline and also the live data in our Power project. And you can see all the red ones highlighting the project delayed activities in 3D BIM model. Okay, so I will be waiting your questions, of course, about this BIM part, and I want to go through the project planning part.
Khan, before we go to the project planning part and the project control part, we have some questions that we can ask. Actually, we are already 45 minutes. So before going to the main part, let's have a look for the 4D BIM part. Okay, we have received from Samuel question regarding how to update the model. I believe he's asking about the if you have some revisions of the model that you received and so on, how you can combine it into your schedule. Samuel, if it's not this question, please write it again, please.
Okay, so in order to answer that, let's assume this is our design. Design is finished, and once I get this model, I've created or allocated my schedule with the 3D BIM model. And of course, the change orders are happening all the time. And let's say this design is a little bit changed. We can go to the model properties and directly import our new models as a revision. So this revision is going to make us to save all the linked elements here, you can see, in our program, and we will also directly seeing what is unallocated with our schedule. So we can, if we have revisions, we can directly have what is different, what is changed in our view.
I believe this answers your question, Samuel. Another question that we have is from Mitahullah. Please accept my apology if I am mispronouncing your name. So he's asking, is it possible, what kind of reporting functionalities the Power project has, and is it possible to create a video?
Of course, we can create a video. So you see here a timeline simulation here. One by one, it is coming out on the view. So we can directly have this simulation exported on a video. So you can see, select the create video, and we can adjust our quality. We can adjust our output format and create an external video of our simulation. And this is the one thing of your question, I believe. Another thing is we can create and generate multiple reportings. So let's go to the file, and you see here a spreadsheet, you see here a Gantt chart, and also we have our 3D model. So we can adjust this view. Let's see. You can adjust this view and directly print out as you work in Excel or Word. The similar approaches, we can have our construction activities, Gantt chart, and also 3D model in our outputs as prints, PDF outputs or Excel outputs. And also Powerproject has many tabular formats, so we can go to the project and you see here reports. In Excel format, in HTML format, we can create cost reports, linked logic reports. So let's create a linked logic report because we only have activities. So you see here, Powerproject is created me a report. I'm just copying, Control-C, and searching on my Windows. So you see the activity ID, and also the predecessor and the successor of the activities are coming in Excel format. So we could have also cost, progress, resource reports, everything with the report generation.
I believe this answers your questions. Also, we have the question about the licensing. So Mohammed is asking, is it the standalone version only, or do we have the other?
We have many flexible way of licensing. We can have standalone license. So the one computer can be used as one license. Also, we can have a network license. So you can use a license with different computers, but the important thing is you need to log into the system in different time frames. And also we have an enterprise system. So directly you can projects and your licenses can be on a server, and by connecting to the server, you can, your multiple people, can work on multiple projects.
Okay. Another question, Zainab is asking how we can get the IFC file.
IFC files can be get from any other design software. So Powerproject doesn't have any export, IFC exporting from other softwares. So let's assume that you're using Revit. You can go into the Revit software, and same thing is you can go to the file and export an IFC file and your 3D BIM model as an IFC. And also I believe any other design softwares like SketchUp has also IFC exporter embedded in their softwares.
Okay. Another question, Oluwaseun is asking if we can send the recording of this webinar.
Of course, we can send, and I almost forgot, you can also check our news, our events in our LinkedIn page, and also we will be uploading this recording of the video in our YouTube channel, and also you can see any other video which can be useful for using Powerproject. We will also have many introductory videos in our YouTube channel. And also by person, we can of course send the link of the video.
Okay, Vakar is asking regarding the quantities, the takeoff quantities. Can the quantities be separated? I believe you want to ask like if we can separate the total quantity from the element to divide it. I think so. Vakar,
Sure.
please, if you can give more information.
But
I think we understood it.
Sure, we can do this. Let's go open our properties pane, and you see here a wall here, an exterior structural wall, and you can see its quantity values here. I can also, this design cannot come from the design firms or design trades as useful to my schedule. So let's assume that I want to pour this concrete wall in two different times. So let's go right click, and we can have, let's go again. We have split products here, and we can directly create any split by using axes. We can have one direction split, or we can have two direction splits. You can see also, but let's use one direction for instance. And once I select OK, you see that the component is split now, and you can see also the one structural wall is 20 meter cubes, and this two was actually approximately 40 meter cubes. So directly the quantities are divided.
Okay. All of us is asking again the question: is there any integrated approach of the software with GIS?
I couldn't understand this question very
You can
briefly.
check. You can check on the question and answer tab.
Let's go.
I believe he wanted to understand whether there is a possibility to have the integration with the GIS. Well, let me answer to this question. Previously, yes, Powerproject has an integration with the GIS system, so it has its own GIS system, and we were able to monitor, especially when you are working in a portfolio of the projects and you have each project in a different location. Yes, you are able to do the integration. However, I haven't seen that for the last maybe 5 years somebody used it. Mainly, what they were doing, they were integrating with Google Earth and just for the picture information or just location information, nothing much. Or for example, we are using the GIS information, especially with the integration with the schedule for the projects during the BI export. So once we are exporting all the schedule data, the project data into the BI application, for example, the Power BI. So we use the longitude and longitude information in order to locate where exactly our project is going on, especially if you're working with multiple projects. Okay. We have a question from Jose. He's asking, can we share that direction? I'm not sure what does mean, but maybe you mean that is it possible to put the direction of the construction? For example, we have a roof, and is it possible to put the direction, Kan?
Yeah, sure. We can add a custom properties. So you can see here. Let's say this one. This custom property also can be added for only a single element, a single IFC file. So I was using all the multiple models. So let's say we can add a custom property as a facade location. Oops. So right now you see in the property pane, I have a facade location. So we can select this roof, this way of roof, and we can say, let's see, this is north view. And you can see this data is inputted in the model. So let's say this is west view. Do we have any other questions?
No, for now. And actually, we are almost okay. Yes, we have another request. So most all of us, he's asking if we can get the copy of the software. Of course, you are able to get the copy of the software. We are going to send the download links for the software, and we would like you, of course, to try it. Once you install the software in the sample files, you will already have the project sample with the 3D model already integrated to check how the 4D BIM planning is going on. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, we are going to finish this webinar. If you have any questions, you have our credentials, you can reach us from the LinkedIn, from the email, from the phone, anytime, and we'll be happy to assist based on your request, based on your interest, based on your project requirements. Moreover, please visit our event calendar. We have a different type of the trainings, webinars are going on this month, and we will have a soon for the upcoming months as well. All right. I think that's it. Thank you, Kan, and thank you everyone who attended our webinar. We do appreciate your time. And if you have any questions, please reach us out.
Thank you for all for your interest and all attendings. We will be always reachable from our emails. We can also, Mr. Shaukat also said that, the emails, everything. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.